She finally walked down the aisle and got the happy ending fans had been begging for. And within days, Weatherfield was staring at a dead body again. If you think you know pain, Carla Connor would like a word. Because at 53 years old, Alison King is still playing one of the most emotionally battered women in British soap history, and right now, in the summer of 2026, Coronation Street is putting her through it all over again. Stick around, because this is the story of a woman who cannot catch a break, a wedding that was supposed to fix everything, and a new tragedy that has left fans absolutely reeling. If you're new here, welcome to the channel, and if you already know exactly why Carla Connor makes you want to lie down in a dark room, you are very much in the right place. Today we are diving deep into the latest chapter of Carla's story, why it's got the entire fanbase talking, and why so many longtime viewers are saying this might be the most heartbreaking stretch of her 20-year journey on the cobbles. Let's start with why everyone is talking about Carla Connor right now. After months of will they, won't they, heartbreak, betrayal, and a kidnapping storyline that had fans on the edge of their sofas, Carla finally married Detective Sergeant Lisa Swain. It was billed as her fresh start, her reward after everything she has survived. Producer Kate Brooks had even promised fans a romantic spring for the couple, teasing that wedding bells were on the way and that Carla and Lisa would finally get their happy ever after. And for one shining afternoon on the cobbles, it looked like Weatherfield's most hard-won couple had actually made it. Except this is Coronation Street, and happiness here has a shelf life measured in minutes. Because layered underneath that wedding was one of the show's biggest ever mystery storylines, a flash-forward event that had already warned fans, months earlier, that a body would be found on the street right after Carla and Lisa's big day. Betsy Swain, Lisa's daughter, was shown being interviewed by police after stumbling across a victim in the aftermath of the nuptials. So even as Carla said her vows, viewers already knew that somewhere close by, tragedy was waiting. The wedding joy and the shock murder arrived almost side by side, and that gut-punch pairing is exactly why fans can't stop talking about Carla this month. Now, for those who haven't followed Carla Connor's journey from the beginning, let's rewind, because context matters here more than almost anywhere else on the show. Alison King first stepped into Weatherfield as Carla back in December 2006, and in the 2 decades since, she has built one of the richest, most tortured character arcs in the show's 60-plus-year history. Fans have nicknamed her the new Elsie Tanner, a nod to just how central and how formidable she has become to the fabric of the street. Carla's list of husbands alone tells you everything about the life she's led. She married Paul Connor, only to be blindsided by his affairs. She married Tony Gordon, a man who turned out to be dangerous and controlling. She had a brief marriage to Nick Tilsley. And twice, she married and lost Peter Barlow, a relationship that gave her real happiness before addiction and heartbreak tore it apart all over again. Along the way, she survived being raped by Frank Foster, endured devastating pregnancy loss, was manipulated and drugged with LSD by her own nephew Stephen Reed, and nearly died from sepsis that damaged her kidneys and left her needing a transplant. If there's a soap trope for suffering, Carla Connor has lived through it, and Alison King has carried every ounce of it on screen. So when Carla finally found something steady and real with Lisa Swain, fans allowed themselves to hope. Their relationship built slowly, from stolen glances and charged moments at the factory to Carla finally admitting she wasn't just a tourist exploring her feelings, to a proper, committed partnership. Then came Becky Swain, Lisa's presumed dead first wife, turning up alive and doing everything in her power to wreck Carla and Lisa's future together. Fans watched Carla hold her composure through Becky inserting herself back into family lunches, through a stolen kiss between Lisa and Becky at a Halloween party, and through months of doubt about whether her fiancé would ever be fully hers. It was, by any measure, an exhausting road to the altar. Now, let's get into the latest developments, because this is where things have escalated fast. Not long after Carla and Lisa exchanged vows, The show confirmed exactly what that earlier flash-forward episode had been building toward. Fans had spent months speculating over 5 possible victims connected to the wider Weatherfield cast, and the reveal landed with the kind of gut punch Corrie is famous for, arriving just as Carla should have been enjoying the best day of her life. Social media exploded within minutes, with fans demanding to know how the show could pair a long-awaited wedding with a killer stalking the same streets. And Carla's personal ordeal did not stop at the church doors. In recent weeks, she has also been left fighting for her life after being violently attacked at the factory. Struck from behind by an unknown assailant just as she reached for her phone to call for help. The attack came at an already fragile moment in her relationship, with Lisa telling her she wasn't ready to fully commit, and it left Lisa keeping a bedside vigil, forced to confront exactly how much Carla means to her. On top of that, Carla has been thrown into an entirely new crisis involving her stepson figure, Sam Blakeman, whose mental health has spiraled into a terrifying state of psychosis. Sam has been seeing a version of Roy Cropper that isn't real, locking himself away in a state of panic, and it's Carla, of all people, who tracks him down and recognizes exactly what's happening to him, drawing on trauma from her own past to reach him when no one else can. Actor Ben Price, who plays Sam's father Nick Tilsley, has spoken about just how pivotal Carla becomes in that storyline, explaining that because of everything Carla has been through herself, she reads the situation in a way nobody else on the street can, and that when she insists something is seriously wrong, the people around her finally sit up and listen. It's a storyline that leans hard on Carla's history of vulnerability, and it's putting Allison King's performance right back in the spotlight, this time not as the woman in crisis, but as the one steady enough to save someone else from one. Fan reaction to this entire stretch of story has been enormous. Across social media and soap forums, viewers have been split between devastation and outright frustration. Some fans are furious that the show gave Carla and Lisa such a hard-fought wedding only to bury it under a murder mystery within the same episode block, with more than a few commenters saying they simply wanted one uncomplicated, happy moment for this couple after everything they've endured. Others have thrown themselves into detective mode, dissecting every clue from the flash-forward special to work out exactly which Weatherfield resident ends up as the victim. There have also been calls from fans for the show to bring back longer, hour-long special episodes for major events like this one, arguing that a story this dense deserves more room to breathe. And amid all of it, entertainment outlets have been running a steady stream of coverage, from spoiler previews to cast interviews, all confirming that Carla is once again positioned right at the emotional center of Weatherfield's biggest story of the year. There's also been chatter among fans about where the Carla and Lisa relationship goes from here. Even with the wedding done, some viewers have floated theories about a darker split storyline still to come, pointing to lingering trust issues left over from the Becky saga and wondering whether the marriage can really survive the pressure of everything happening around them. Nothing has been confirmed on that front, but the speculation alone shows just how invested fans have become in whether Carla finally gets to keep her happiness this time. So what could all of this mean going forward, both for Carla as a character and for Allison King as a performer? On the storyline side, Carla being the one who identifies Sam's psychosis feels like more than coincidence. Corrie has a long history of using a character's own trauma to make them the emotional anchor for someone else's crisis, and giving Carla that role suggests the show still sees decades of untold value in her painful backstory. It also raises the question of whether the mystery victim from the flash forward will end up connected to Carla directly, whether through Lisa's job as a detective, through the factory, or through her sprawling web of family entanglements involving the Connors and the Donovans. Given how frequently tragedy seems to orbit specifically around her, plenty of fans aren't ruling out the possibility that Carla herself could be pulled even closer to the heart of that murder investigation before the year is out. For Allison King, this run of storylines is yet another reminder of why she remains one of the most trusted dramatic actors in the entire cast. 2 decades in, producers are still building some of the show's biggest events, a wedding, a flash-forward murder mystery, and a wrenching mental health storyline, directly around her character. That's not something handed to just anyone on a soap with this size of ensemble. It also keeps the door wide open for awards recognition, with Carla's combination of quiet strength and visible scar tissue exactly the kind of material that tends to catch the attention of the British Soap Awards and the National Television Awards further down the line. Looking ahead, expect the murder mystery to keep tightening around the cast over the coming weeks, with more clues likely to point toward exactly who ends up as the victim from that original flash forward. Expect Sam's psychosis storyline to deepen further too, with Carla likely to stay closely involved as his family tries to get him proper help. And do not be surprised if the show finds a way to test Carla and Lisa's marriage again almost immediately, because if there's one lesson 20 years of watching Carla Connor has taught fans, it's that peace on this street never lasts very long. To wrap it all up, Carla Connor's story right now is a perfect snapshot of exactly why she has remained one of Coronation Street's most compelling characters for 2 decades. A long-awaited wedding, overshadowed almost instantly by a citywide murder mystery. A brutal, unexplained attack that nearly cost her everything. And now, a stepson in crisis who only she seems able to reach. At 53, Alison King is still delivering some of the most quietly devastating work on British television, and if this latest run of episodes is anything to go by, Carla's fight for happiness is far from over. So that's everything we know so far about Carla Connor's latest heartbreaking chapter on Coronation Street. Do you think Carla and Lisa's marriage can survive what's coming? Who do you think ends up being that mystery murder victim? Let us know your theories down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another Coronation Street update. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.